The struggle is over. Hillmore vacuum pumps are designed for hands-free carry with 2 durable hoist points for easy transport. A large oil fill port plus sloped oil housing make changing oil a breeze.
You're listening to Zack, founder of WorkingJoesRoundtable.com, and this is the Working Joes Podcast. Guys, I just looked at a job, and like a lot of the jobs that I look at, it was quite the cluster. And what I mean is, it's a trailer house, and a lot of guys don't like working on trailer houses, but for me, I really do enjoy them. I don't know if I'm just used to them or what, but they sort of remind me, maybe it's because I come from the same demographic, the downtrodden poor of North Carolina. But everybody's got to live somewhere, and trailer houses need people that can work on them too. And electric furnaces aren't exactly complicated, but you know what? There's a ton of little electrical parts there, and there's all sorts of wires run everywhere, and they need somebody who can understand how to rewire and fix burnt terminals and things like that. And I feel like I fit the bill for that, so I'm happy to do it. But the guy who owns these trailer houses where I'm at, it's a little place called Rocky Point. There's about 20 or 25 trailers in this mobile home park. And he called me to look at hooking up a package unit. Of course, not a new package unit. It's one he found. I don't know where he found this one. But it's a Goodman 2011 package unit. So that's fine with me. Plenty of service calls in the future. You know, Goodman. So I said, that's fine. I'll go take a look at it. And this trailer is huge. I mean, it is one of the biggest ones in this place, if not the biggest. And it needs a 4-ton air conditioner. Well, it has a 4-ton air conditioner. That's what I can tell you, because that's what they put in the backyard there. The Goodman's a 4-ton unit. It's a square style Goodman unit. So it has that nice square chassis, not the long horizontal one. I said, okay. So I looked down and saw it was a GPH 1348. I was like, man, I know this is going to be some undersized duct we're about to see. And that's what I had to hook up. So I looked down there at the connections to the unit, and I think they had like a 14 or 16 on the supply round, and a couple 14s on the return with like a Y going into a 16. I said, well, at least the return's closer. Supply is way off. You know, you can't have a 14 or 16 inch supply on a Goodman package unit, especially with those puny X13 blowers that they use. The X13 blowers, they may be ECM, but then some of them things are just pathetic for airflow against certain static. And that goes all the way across the board from Goodman to Train. So I crawled on the trailer and see what we had. We had 2 floor returns that were in this trailer. Both of them had 14-inch ducts coming off of them, or they would have. There's just 14-inch collars on them. Filters still in there, laying at the bottom, all dirty and crumpled up. Sizing wasn't too far off, but he wanted to put the return grills in the wall so people can change their return filters there, and people won't be stepping on them, getting dirt in them, which I can understand. If you have a floor return, it's going to be full of dirt before too long, and whatever else, your kids' toys, toothbrushes, go downtown Wilmington, syringes. I wish I was making that up. So I took a look at them, and you know, I saw that there was a girder in the way, and you guys can watch this on Working Joe's Roundtable whenever episode, I guess, 26 comes out, which I'm filming now. You'll be able to see what's going on with this particular trailer. 25 will be out in a few days, so if you're wondering, and if you're not, come on now, watch it. And 24 just came out. So you want to get them out of the floor, but there's a big girder in the way, so we're going to have to move it down the wall a little bit, bring up like a 20 by 14 or a 24 by 12 duct in the wall, and bring 20 by 20 filter grills off either side, and they can box it in or whatever. Supply is a little bit different, because originally these places had electric furnaces with, you know, a split air conditioner or a split heat pump and coil, usually a Mortex coil or Nordyne unit or whatever. So that's been done away with. The bottom of that closet's been sealed off. The ductwork's been sealed up, so all of it's fed from a package unit. And there's 2 connections, 2 14-inch, one in the front, one in the back. So I said, well, that's good, that's okay. But the issue is that you have both your connections on one end of these ducts, and this is a double wide trailer. So each level of trailer, whether it be single, double, or triple wide, is going to have a row of metal ductwork down the center of that particular module. You'll have, if you have a double wide, let's say that's 28 foot wide, you'll have two 14-foot sections that go down the road, and there'll be a duct in the center of each one of those sections running long ways all the way down it. So they have collars in each of these particular runs in this double wide, but they're all on one end of the house. So I said, well, that doesn't work real well. In the past, to sort of get around this issue where we have uneven airflow because the collars are on one end of this really long duct. I don't know how long this trailer was, but it was bigger than most. It wasn't a 50-footer. It was probably 60 or 70 foot long. So what I would do is I'll run like a 20 by 14 or 24 by 12 duct under for the supply and tap off of it with 4 tins. Seal up those 14-inch holes that are in there now in that ductwork, and we'll put 2 tins on one end of each one of those runs and 2 tins on the other end. So you have a nice even distribution. Maybe that'll even lower our static down so it's not so god-awful, because you know what, you put them things in there, and these Goodman units, they're not built to battle a bunch of static, especially these X13 motors. So if you're going to use an X13, you need to go ahead and get your duct sizing right, or else it's going to perform pathetically. So I figure I'll get 4 tins in there, because I'll be pushing my luck with 12s. I mean, I might be able to put 12s in there, get a little bit more space, and that might be a good idea. And I haven't come to my final decision, but I know a minimum will be 10. But as anyone knows, if you run 10-inch flex of those particular collars, you're not going to get that full 400 CFM you would with metal pipe that's 10. So what I like to do is, you oversize it a little bit, try to bring your static down. Now, it's not a perfect world, and we're not going to be able to do everything we want to do, but if I can put 4 12s in there, that'd be great. But I also know something else. Remember, this guy bought this unit, and people that buy their own units, especially used units from wherever, are typically cheap. So you're not going to be able to introduce a whole bunch of this wonderful ductwork and, properly sized, large ductwork, metal fabricated back in my shop. He's likely just to go, nah, let's run a flex to a box and split it, something like that. Which I will, I don't really feel like doing. So I'm going to give him the full blast, the proposal to run it perfectly, and we'll see what happens, and I'll keep you guys updated. But that's how I'll go ahead and tackle that job, this trailer job. That's sort of my thought process, what I'm thinking about. You can catch this in video form on episode 26, whenever it comes out on the Working Joe's Roundtable YouTube channel. And we might even have a few more posts about this job. But I appreciate you stopping by. This is the Working Joe's Podcast. You can now download all the music you love off Working Joe's Roundtable's training videos. Go to workingjoesroundtable.com, go to podcast, and click on Talent 875 Music to download all your favorite music.